What's up, y'all? So I'm working on getting better at competitive Pokemon. It's been a few years since I've played, and I decided to start by doing the in-game ranked battles. I thought it would be interesting to share my thought process and current level of decision making as I'm working on getting better. So if anyone else is in a similar situation, maybe you'll find it interesting. Anyway, today I have 3 games, so let's go. So right away in my first game, when I look at my opponent's team, the 3 Pokemon that stand out for me are Gouging Fire, the new Entei, Ursaluna, and Roaring Moon, the new Salamence. So my goal is to lead with a Pokemon that either outspeeds or isn't going to get one-shotted by any of his Pokemon. So right here I thought Great Tusk would be the best for that. And because Great Tusk has terrible special defense, I figured I'll back it up with Clodsire in case he brought his special attacker. And lastly, I figured I'll have Booster Energy, Iron Valiant in my back pocket as a cleanup. So the game starts and he starts with Ursaluna and I send out Great Tusk. If he had started with Gardevoir, the special attacker on his team, I probably would have just switched to Clodsire right away. But I know I can outspeed Ursaluna, so I just went right away for a close combat. I figured if he switched or terastallized into something weird, he would still have to eat a close combat and it would still be at least decent damage. But he didn't really do anything and he just died. So right here I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I thought his next Pokemon would be Roaring Moon or Gardevoir, and he didn't want to switch his Ursaluna into any of those to take damage before killing my Great Tusk, so he just sacrificed his Ursaluna. In my mind, if it was Roaring Moon, I would have just went for some damage and probably had Great Tusk die. And if it was Gardevoir, I would have switched to Clodsire. But instead he brings out Torkoal, and I know there's no way this thing is going to outspeed Great Tusk. So I just go for Headlong Rush. I thought he was going to do something weird like Terastallize Water or something like that, but he didn't. And he just died again. And at this point I kind of knew like I just didn't have a very strong opponent. No shade to him, but it's probably a younger player or something, someone not paying attention, and I was probably going to win this game. I was still expecting Roaring Moon with probably like Dragon Dance or something, which could still be a threat for the rest of my team. But he sends out Gouging Fire, so I just went for the Headlong Rush, regardless of what he had planned. At this point, it's a 3v1 battle in my favor, so I figured I'll be fine. By the way, I just want to say, even though this first battle turned out to be pretty easy, that's not the reason why I uploaded it. Even in an easy battle for me, I'm still trying to make the best decisions. I have no idea what my opponent has planned, so I just wanted to show what I was thinking throughout the battle, and that's why I uploaded it anyway. So yeah, his Gouging Fire goes down and on to the second battle. My second opponent also, to me, to my untrained eyes, also had a very off meta team. Other than Dragonite and maybe Metagross, I didn't really feel like any of his other Pokemon were major threats. I was a little bit confused on how I wanted to play this at first, but I just decided to go with the same 3 I had from the last match. So I started with Great Tusk, which is the only one on my team who has an ice move to be super effective against Dragonite. So that was my plan. I felt like if I could deal with his Dragonite, then I would be fine. I didn't want him to start off with Dragonite and then Dragon Dance and probably sweep my entire team. So that was my plan. But he starts the game with Blastoise. An ice move or a water move from his Blastoise would really mess up my Great Tusk. So I decide that I'm going to switch right away into Clodsire. The reason I switch into Clodsire is because Clodsire is a special wall, and he has the ability Water Absorb, so he kind of counters Blastoise pretty well, whereas my Great Tusk would have gotten 1 or 2 shotted by Blastoise. After I saw how much damage his Ice Beam did, which wasn't a lot, I figured I could just stall him out. It was going to take him a while to kill my Clodsire, at least 2 to 3 hits, so I could poison him, set up Stealth Rock, and then start spamming Recovery, just being a nuisance to him until he either switches or dies. So because he Shell Smashed and raised his special attack, his second Ice Beam did a lot more damage than his first, which means I would have died in the next Ice Beam. I decided to commit my Terastallization here and Terastallize Clodsire into water so that he would take less damage from the Ice Beam and I'll be able to use Recovery. So after Blastoise went down, he sends in Bravery. This Bravery turned out to be more of a problem than I expected. It did take some damage from the Stealth Rock I set up earlier. But it proceeded to one-shot my Clodsire. I wasn't too sure who I wanted to set in against Bravery because Iron Valiant isn't very tanky and Great Tusk is actually weak to Flying, so it's actually weak to Bravery. But Great Tusk has Ice Spinner, which is the only ice move on my team, and that move is strong against Bravery, so I decided to go with Great Tusk, hoping I could just HKO Bravery before he could kill me. Right here, he barely survives, and I thought I was dead. But Great Tusk held on for me. I still figured I could lose if he had a priority move like, I don't know, Quick Attack or Extreme Speed or something, but he used Protect, and that made me feel like he didn't have either of those moves. So after that, I felt pretty confident to just keep spamming Ice Spinner. Right here, he makes a crucial mistake. He switches out his Bravery at low health, but because Stealth Rock is down, it means that he can't switch it back in because it'll die instantly unless he gets rid of the Stealth Rock. So yeah, with that, his last two Pokemon died to Stealth Rock. This game was a bit more challenging than the first one. My opponent's team was a little bit off meta for what I understand currently, but I feel like he did what he could with what he had. Anyway, on to the next game, the final game. My opponent's team in this game felt a bit more dangerous to me. Annihilape is a pretty solid physical attacker with really good typing. I remember Goodra being a pretty solid special wall as well. But the thing that was in the back of my head a lot was his Espeon. I feel like Espeon has a special ability called Bounce, which can reflect Stealth Rock and Toxic, so I felt like he could counter my Clodsire pretty hard. I still decided to go with the 3 Pokemon I've been using so far, Great Tusk, Iron Valiant, and Clodsire, so yeah. He started off with Meowscarada, which is a pretty hard counter to my Great Tusk. I thought a lot about switching here. If I had Skarmory on my team, I definitely would have switched into Skarmory, but there was really no good option for me to switch into, so I just decided to go for a close combat. But I can't lie, right here I was pretty scared. I thought it was over for my Great Tusk. But my Great Tusk was tanky enough to hold on, and I was able to HKO him with close combat. Shout out to Great Tusk, it's a great Pokemon. No pun intended. Alright, then he sends out Annihilape. This was the one that I was kind of worried about. I didn't know if it would outspeed my Great Tusk, and I didn't want Great Tusk to die just yet. So I switched into Clodsire. And he took that close combat like a champ. Now with Clodsire, it was interesting for me because I thought there was a good chance he could have had Espeon in his back pocket. So I didn't want to like set up Stealth Rock or use Toxic or anything like that, because I didn't want him to predict it and magic bounce it back to me by switching into Espeon. So I just kind of went for Earthquakes and tried to chip away at Annihilape. after I saw how much damage he did with that Rage Fist, I realized that he was going to two-shot me. So I decided to get Toxic off before I died, or fainted, sorry. And then here you could see me thinking for a while because I knew I was going to die to the next Rage Fist. So I decided to commit my Terra and use recovery because I didn't know if I would be able to tank it if I Terra'd into water. But I couldn't, so I wasted my terastallization and died anyway. I was going to switch into Iron Valiant here because I didn't know if I would outspeed him or not, but I figured because he's poisoned, I'll go into Great Tusk, and even if he outspeeds me, it'll be one more round of poison damage. But it turns out I outspeed him and I was able to finish him off. Yeah, and then he sends out Raichu, which there isn't much Raichu can do against Great Tusk. So yeah, that was the battle. Overall, it was fun. These were the first 3 games I recorded, and luckily, they went well overall. I got heavily carried by Great Tusk, which is now one of my favorite Pokemon. By the way, I built this team just with a little bit of research, and Chaos over on the perfectpokemon.com marketplace made it for me. So I'll put my full team in the description of this video. Anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know. I would love to make more like this. So let me know and I'll do more. That's it, guys. Best of luck to everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye.